Hey, are you all ready to get this started?
Going live.
Listener discretion is advised.
Keep your head out there. They're going to do dumb. Play our game. All right? Play hard, but stay poised.
3, gonna be savage. 2, grab your shit. 1, do it.
Let's be great. Let's be great.
Jordan Howard deserves MVP. Let the media know he does. Let all the nitwits know he's carrying the football show. They really do not know. Can't believe they do not see that Jordan Howard is MVP. Jordan Howard is MVP. Jordan Howard is MVP. Despite a coach calling plays conservatively, he hits the hole so hard without a fullback or his guards. The linebackers all pay Howard the wood he lays. The wood Howard lays. Jordan Howard is MVP. Jordan Howard is MVP. Without him, the Bears can't win. Plowing through stack boxes, finding the creases, giving Mitchell a chance, giving Mitchell a chance, giving Mitchell a fighting chance. Jordan Howard is MVP. Yeah. Jordan Howard is MVP. Without him, the Bears can't win. Amen. Hallelujah.
I really just feel confident about I'm getting better each week. And it's from the play, but I get feedback from my teammates and from them just looking at me and I can tell that they're confident in me, and I just feel like my play is getting a little bit better each week, and I know how to prepare. I just need to go out there and execute and just do exactly what I'm coached. So I feel like I'm getting better each week, and for us to come out with a win, that's the most important thing for me, for the team to get a win.
This is Bears Hour Live with Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian. I am Aldo Gandia, and today, Monday, December 11th, is party time. That's because the Bears went into Cincinnati and beat up on the Bengals 33-7. Mitch Trubisky had arguably his best day as a pro, completing 25 passes for 271 yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 1 rushing touchdown. The star of our show, Draft Dr. Phil, is here to give us a breakdown of the game. Phil, how are you feeling on Victory Monday?
Well, you got to feel good anytime the Chicago Bears can get a win under their belt, which have been few and far between, Aldo. You got to be happy about it. And I think, obviously, you got to love the fact that the rookies were able to showcase themselves. And I say that in full spirit of the word, showcase themselves, because obviously it's been talked about countless times on this show, and the barflies know that given the opportunity, which we've asked for, the Shaheen show, the Cohen show, the Howard show, the Trubisky show, all of it delayed, looking back on how the staff has handled personnel, especially young, talented personnel that is ultimately going to give you the best chance to win. That hasn't happened. And it takes so long into a losing season to actually showcase the talent that, professional coaching staffs like the New England Patriots do early, because the Seattle Seahawks, they're going to play the best no matter where they've been drafted, how old they are, what their background, what college they went to, how much money you're paying them. All the politics of football are left out of this. And what's the key ingredient in the end result? Comes victories and championships. The last time I think the Patriots weren't in the playoffs, I don't even think I had children then. They've been in it every year. So if you think about that for a minute, that's called, championship way, a championship formula, a championship way of thinking. And really, it's about getting talent at every level. We don't just have to draft well. We have to sign free agents well. We got to keep our own guys well. Homegrown talent needs to stay. Coaching and guys that can't catch the football. Guys that make countless errors, the same thing over and over. Guys that were drafted in the third round and can't step and deliver the blow and fire off the snap need to get out of the building. You got to own mistakes if you want to praise your wins and victories. You got to own your losses. And really, you don't see that. And then when you get into this young man in Mitchell Trubisky, because like I said, the toast of the town in Chicago is the Blackhawks, because they're doing what the Patriots, they're always in it to win it. So in a football town, you're looking at a city that doesn't understand football the way it should be. And when I look at it, it's led by the clown college parade of media members that think they know the game of football, but really don't care enough about the game of football to know more, that this isn't okay. And as you said, Aldo, ask the tough questions and stop being these pompous, arrogant pricks, pardon me, on television, in the newspaper, on their radio show, talking down to the fan like you don't know. Like Bears Barroom isn't something more powerful than it is. Like barflies don't matter. These people don't matter. Those opinions aren't right. Well, yeah, when you go back and listen, because it's documented. It doesn't go away. It's like these things I said in August are now playing themselves out on the stage now. It took them 13 weeks to goddamn run spread read game. Every third and short should involve that formation and a challenge to the defense to stop it. But we're sitting here worried about Mitch Trubisky and opening up. Where's Shaheen? Why is this? All of it stems from the worst coaching staff ever. They're the worst in percentage, and they're the worst in winning percentage. They're the worst at home. They're the worst on the road. They're setting records for being bad. That's when you know it's time to cut the cord back in September, when you decided in August, and you decided an open competition didn't matter, wasn't important. Mike Glennon, we signed him, feelings, whatever politics. You have egg on your face because he's not a professional starting quarterback ever. And that, my friends, is huge in regards to the coaching and the general manager. Got to take that loss. Got to own it. Got to cut it out of your building right now. Right when the season's over, gone. Made a mistake, moving on, focusing on Mitchell. Now, what you saw on Sunday, as I was saying, getting into this young man is, and we're going to skip over it like the media will. Just the Bengals are a dying team, and you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, he looked crappy against the Bengals like we expected him to. This is how this media works. So if Mitchell went out there and the Bears sucked and they lost, it was to be expected. Well, Mitchell goes out there, shows you quality snaps, anticipation throws, athleticism, confidence, even arrogance, standing in the pocket, not being afraid, having the mentality to deliver a pass on 3rd and 6, understanding how to roll out of the pocket, square his shoulders and feet, and deliver the strike. All the things that you want to see in a young quarterback were on display, but instead the tone is, well, it was against the Bengals. They're missing guys. They quit on their coach. They've done this. They've done that. So pause right here to explain. You can't have it both ways. Do you understand that, Barflies? This is what they do to you. The Aaron Lemmings, the David Haws, the David Kaplans, they all want to get you to click. They want you to go. I can give a shit if you're here or not. You're here because you love it and you live for the truth. That's what I care about. You want to hear the truth? I'm not here to throw bouquets at anybody. I'm not here to throw roses and everything to the McCaskies and this organization. I'm here to help change what I know is wrong. And I believe in my partners, in Shane and Aldo as well, and John Buffone. You know, you feel it, you understand it, that this stuff has been said forever. And if you are a new listener and follower, thank you for checking in. It's all documented. Go back into your pod stream, whatever it is, iTunes, August. Phil, Aldo, and Lauren Cox are in there. And we're talking about how the quarterback, and I'm like, this is a huge mistake. It's terrible, absolutely atrocious. Another fireable offense for Fox. Should have been open competition. Young kids should be out. No. Everyone has a view. When you're right, you're right. That's it. You can't take that away. You could try to flip-flop it and word it cleverly, but I don't mince words, guys. And neither do my partners. So I'm not on here just to fucking pat myself on the back, part of my language, Al. I'm on here to tell you, that was for Trey Busy right there. I'm on here to tell you not to be taken down by a victory. You should be happy that the Bears went in there and kicked ass. You should be happy that they won. And that Mitchell Trubisky, Tariq Cohen, Jordan Howard, Cody Whitehair, Christian Jones, Akeem Hicks, Eddie Jackson, Danny Trevathan. You see his pieces to the puzzle? Shaheen. Right. These are players that stepped up. If they had the right coach in place, these players could be used earlier. They all have something in common. They're overlooked, moved from one position to the next. Do this. A competent coach has this under control. And Mitchell allowed more rope and allowed more time and allowed more formations and allowed more option game and things he felt comfortable with was absolutely phenomenal. There's no other way. That was a rookie out there, guys, in an NFL game. Remember those crappy wide receivers? Everyone's taught. They do. And he's delivering. And he's making plays. Everything I loved about Jay Cutler, the ability to make plays, the ability to do this kid has it. And he's under, 22 years old, 21. So anybody telling you that what happened and transpired with Mitchell Trubisky is completely off their rocker. I didn't want this opportunity to come on here and talk football and miss the opportunity to praise the second overall pick, the trade up to get this guy, because what you saw is the foundational step for him to deliver when it matters most with someone who's going to come in here maniacal and be excited about working with this young kid. Is athletic and accurate and throws anticipation, has a big arm. He's not afraid. He's tough. He can run. Everything. He's got it. I would be so excited to take over this job, and that's what NFL people are telling me. You see this run by Tariq Cohen. Go in it and watch it where he steps out of bounds. He scores, but he stepped out of bounds. And just watch Adam Shaheen and Tariq Cohen. And watch Cody Whitehair fire off the ball and stay with their block. This hasn't been seen all year because, God willing, they don't run it. And they don't use Shaheen, who sets the key block in the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And that's how you build young players, confidence, doing what they feel comfortable with. Everybody in their brother, the Bears fan that watched that game, felt the difference, shook their head, looked around, and said, wait a second, is this the same team? And it reminds me, giving credit to a former colleague, still friend, Jose Cotto, made that graphic chart. Gets our hopes up, lose patience, comes back, we believe again, come back. And that's what they do to us. I'm telling you now, I'm not going to be fooled. None of us are going to be fooled and give credit to this coaching staff for getting a professional football team to play right week 13. No, not going to do it, guys. You're not going to join these Zaglinskis and whoever else is saying, great job, great plan this week, see? No. Took too long, nothing on the line. What we are going to be happy about is what we saw, the personnel and the use and all the excuses that were made about the players on injured reserve and what have you. That's what we're going to be excited about. And the most excited we're going to be is not about Mike Nugent. It's going to be about Mitchell Trubisky, because as much as we're going to talk tonight about some of the other things, Mitchell Trubisky showed me everything and anything I want to know about a future of a franchise. And that is, he is ready. He is more than ready to do it. He just needs the guy leading us to that victory, the maniacal formational understander of every possible move. And that's what's going to have to happen here, because Dowell isn't that guy, and neither is John Fox. And now it's put on tape for all the potential coaches out there to see that, wait a second, if you win in Chicago, you become a legend. The world is yours. Because let's be honest, Aldo, this is a Chicago Bears town. Worldwide Bear fans. You win a Super Bowl there, I don't even know what it's going to be. It's going to be a party for 10 days. I can't even imagine it. And that's what you got to be excited about and focused in on going into next week. We've said it, and people are saying it as well. We're going to jump into that. Well, now what's been happening, what the trend is, they'll fall flat on their face against Detroit. Shaheen won't see a snap. Cohen will play one or two plays. Mike Burton will be the main cog. Whatever they do will be the opposite of what we saw. That's a problem. That's going to be something we got to keep our eyes on coming into Detroit, Aldo.
Phil, you're probably not watching the Patriots-Dolphins game, which is happening now as we record live on Monday Night Football. But Jay Cutler just threw a beautiful touchdown pass at almost the very same time you were mentioning his name.
Shut up.
Yeah, I swear to you. Those of you listening on podcast version, we record live on Monday nights, and you can listen at mixlr.com and join us in our chat room, where it's a very busy chat room today. Everybody's talking, and there's a kind of a temperature of optimism about the future. Lots of people talking about the upcoming draft and who we should get to help Trubisky. It's really fabulous. But before I get more into what's being said in the chat room, I want you, Phil, to talk about Jordan Howard. You have been on a crusade to let the outside public, people outside of Bears fans, the unknowing people, the silent media or the dumb media who don't study their tape and just look at box scores and comment on a player. You've been on a crusade to let them know that Jordan Howard is truly worthy of a Most Valuable Player award consideration. And yesterday, he again showed why. I want you to talk about your love of Jordan Howard and why the rest of the football world should love him too.
Well, I just heard a proverbial gasp for air from upstate New York, because I could hear Shane go, oh, Jesus, he's going to be talking about him all night. But in all seriousness, I could talk about this football player. I mean, when you take the temperature of the Chicago media, and that's exactly what I did today. I did something I never do. I listened to Chicago radio this morning all the way up until 2 o'clock. And I just wanted to gauge the temperature and how they were feeling the game and the coaching and everything of that nature. And especially wanted to put a microscope on how they spoke about Mitchell Trubisky and Jordan Howard. And one completely obvious thing was that Jordan Howard is a sidebar conversation to the whole thing. Now, in football world, when we're studying tape, so I'm a scout for the Detroit Lions, I'm studying the tape, and the first thing I'm going to say to my football coach is, listen, we got to stop Jordan Howard. You see the difference? In Chicago, Jordan Howard is considered a sidebar. He had a good game. He's an okay back. They got to get Jordan Howard going. These are all sentences and statements that you'll continue to hear. But in Bears Barroom, I'm asking you people to join me. The song came out in Christmas. Jordan Howard, you heard it to begin with. I'm sure we'll roll out with it. You know, I love doing these songs. Obviously, as you guys know, we're having a blast and appreciate the feedback and the love and all of that. But Jordan Howard hits the hole and understands, feels. Like they knew they couldn't do a lot of zone stretch, so they did inside zone plays and power plays. And the guy just could do it all when it comes to the ground game. And his ability to understand the next move beforehand is so... I play the position. I would watch tape afterwards of myself and be amazed that I didn't remember that I did that. This guy, I'm watching tape of him, and I'm amazed that he did do that. And I'm sure he is looking at himself and doesn't even understand how great he is. And that, to me, is a problem. Football people know how great he is. The media, because he's quiet, because he might be angry or his perception of him isn't the way you want it to be. I know from the grapevine that he's a quiet, humble, hardworking kid that runs angry and has a chip on his shoulder, wants to be great. Well, I see that on the football field. You can't make a story with his big mouth and his big personality like you can with Cohen. You can't tell the story of how short he is and how he came from a small school. You can't do those stories if you don't care and recognize just how great this football player is. Now, you look at the statistical breakdown. He's the first running back in the greatest of histories of running backs. The Bears have two great things, running backs and inside backers. They have a history of it. Walter Payton, no doubt in my mind, the best football player to ever play. Not even a question in my mind. I've never seen anyone better in my life. Barry Sanders, a close second. When I look at Jordan Howard, I get excited like I did with Walter Payton. Because this guy plays with his heart and his soul on the football field. And what you saw yesterday was stacked boxes to stop Jordan Howard, and they couldn't. And he ran harder, and he ran more intense. And then he was using his balance to pitter-pat and find the hole and get through the crease and churn for extra yards despite missed blocks and missed effort and missed opportunity of technique or a missed block downfield by the fullback, who you all know how I feel about him. This guy is a one-man wrecking ball. He's a filthy animal, and he should be treated like a god in Chicago, and it's so disappointing because if I had to pick someone, obviously, Mitchell Trubisky's going to be the face of the franchise. That comes with the position, especially as a young boy and coming into the league as a rook. But this kid, Aldo, I just think that David Kaplan's, the Haws, these arrogant you-know-whats come off like this could be easily replaced, as if the stats,
That's
you know,
nuts.
these stat scouts alone should be all over this guy, and they're not.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? He's breaking records, and no one's saying he's better than Walter Payton. I know fans get that twisted because no one's ever saying that. We're looking at what is actually happening. You have the crappiest offensive coordinator. You got a terrible head coach. You got 9 in the box. I would say on 60 to 70%, he's facing 8 and 9 boxes of the downs when he's in there. And he's still getting 1,000 yards. And you're going to have people overlooking this guy and talking down to him. Let's look. I had a running back coach in the NFL text me and say, today, listen, this kid's dropped one pass that we can deem was his fault. Now, that was his eye. I think there's 3 or 4 in there that he should have caught.
Yeah,
But
I agree with you, yeah.
Remember the play against Atlanta to begin the season at the goal line? I broke that play down to the 10th on how that was on Mike Glennon. Because his read is 1-2, throw. If you watch him, it's 1-2-3, hesitate, throw, forcing Howard to be waiting on the ball. He puts his hands up to try to get the ball, knowing contact, turns his head, drops it. He looks bad. Had it just been dropped. But those are things that the untrained eye doesn't understand. That's why we try to do the film reviews. That's why we try to have these shows, because I don't have any horse in the race here. Who talks the more truth than the Bears Barroom? All of us. The writers, the bloggers on our site. Nobody's holding back. Nobody. I don't have any agenda with any football player on this team except to point out the truth. What they should have been doing when Josh Bellamy makes a block and takes out 2 guys and shows effort, I'm going to praise Josh Bellamy. Just like I did. There's no personal stuff. We joke, we make songs, we have fun. That's entertainment. Get a grip. But when we talk in football, we're only going to talk about the truth. And I'm batting pretty high in the order here when it comes to what's going on and what should happen. And that's just fact. Backed up by thousands of hours of audio. What do we do? How many hours a week, Aldo? Our show's 5 hours.
5+ hours a week.
5+ hours of football, draft, whatever talk.
Yeah.
Breaking down Chicago Bears football. It could get to the right or the left, but it's always under the umbrella of the Bears because we care about them and we care about the fan being educated and not fooled by the frauds. It's just that simple, and that's the formulation of 100 Proof. And tonight, Bears Hour Live, the X's and O's, and talking about what transpired in the football games. That's our goal here, and calling out situational football for what it is.
Phil, I'd like you to talk about you and I tag team today on an article on BearsBarroom.com. Chris Armstrong was out, and she usually does the kind of post-game thoughts and rants and raves about Coach Fox, and you took that role on today, and then I did some evaluation of the game. And hopefully, if those of you who are listening have not read that, I hope that you do. Phil offered up some excellent thoughts and did a movie analogy, which was really cool. And I talked a little bit about the future of this Bears offense. Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen, Mitchell Trubisky, and Adam Shaheen. You got 4 guys there that are true studs that could end up being Pro Bowl caliber type players. You add a game-changing wide receiver, and all of a sudden this offense is elevated to one of the better ones in the NFC. I mean, and that's what I'm reading in the chat room. There's just a sense of hope. This victory yesterday was a glimpse as to what could be with good coaching and good player personnel decisions and so forth. I'd like you to talk. I'd like you to kind of join in the chat room, so to speak, and talk a little bit about what the future could look like for this offense.
Well, you saw it, and it's funny. This isn't tooting horns, guys. Shane Marsaw, myself, and Aldo, talked about there's no excuses for the talent is there. What has been holding them back? The offensive coordinator and the head coach saying he wants to be conservative. When you have a coach that's afraid to lose the game, remember, let's go back to San Francisco, a 1-win football team, guys. A 1-win football team. You're up 14 points on a 1-win football team. Your defense is stopping them. They're kicking field goals. And you're trying to play conservative. Guess what happened? You end up losing. Because winners go after the win. That's the goal, you know? And you look at what Green Bay did, not to bring them up, but tie ball game, Cleveland hasn't won. They're trying to survive to continue a playoff. They might get Aaron Rodgers back. Say what you want, but they got a coach that has balls and said, on 3rd down, instead of just running and setting up for a field goal to possibly win, remember, we might possibly block this field goal against San Francisco. So you're seeing the utter complete opposite. McCarthy lines up, runs a guy in motion, runs a flanker screen, and they score a touchdown and walk-off touchdown and win the game. Whereas our coach, undoubted, I would bet every amount of money in the chat room that anybody had and any money I have, that our coach would have ran dive left, set up Mike Nugent, hopefully he'll make it. And that's the difference. 4th and 1, you're a 3-win football team. I think the score was 7-0. No, let's kick a field goal at the 9-yard line. 4th and 1, guys. 4th and 1. If anybody knows me, I type a guess. At 4th and 1, guess what play Phil is running on 4th and 1? That'll be your challenge. Whoever got it right will win. Because it's very easy. I'm not kicking a field goal, Aldo. It's just your 3-win team.
I know.
You're at home.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely mind-boggling. Like, I wanted to take my Samsung TV and throw it in the street. I was so mad. In fact, I was more mad at that than at the dudes who broke my kid's snowman down. Because it's such a showcase of where you'll never go to. You follow that? Yeah. This is a guy that's always going to play it safe. Playing it safe didn't win the Patriots 5 Super Bowls. Playing it safe doesn't win championships. It's a loser's play. It's a tell. Conservatism is something for politics. In football, you need to be the aggressor, the attacker, the one who's not afraid. And when you're 3 wins and you're still afraid, you've got the wrong guy. And that is what I saw. And it's the easiest equation to ever come up with. When you're a coach, you're a teacher, you're a leader of men, you're going to have people that don't respect you, and you got to earn their respect. You got to challenge players to be better and do something that maybe they don't believe they can, but you know they can. This football coach is not a leader of men. The locker room is lost, talking as if it's over. That kind of culture around Mitchell Trubisky is what you worry about. So the remedy for me was for him to go out and play really great. And really, guys, that's what you saw. So the Chicago Bears players and young talent who were incorporated in the game plan. Let's not get that twisted. As I said this morning to a couple bloggers jumping in my commentary, let's not forget there's a past practice of this. This isn't new. That Jordan Howard was sitting behind Jeremy Langford. Remember him? Everyone forgot. Cameron Meredith was sitting behind Josh Bellamy, people. And Mark Mariani. Think about this stuff. Eddie Royal. It took me all of 20 snaps at training camp to pick out who should be playing and who shouldn't be playing. And damn if I wasn't right. So I could do it. Why can't a professional? Because they don't care. Because the bottom line dollar is something that matters to somebody in this organization. And that's the complete unfortunate mess of what you have with this coach and what I wrote about. That you can't build a hotel in an oasis. You can't find an oasis and build a hotel. They don't exist. So unless you're going to Vegas and you're in the middle of the desert and that's what you're going to do and build a new Vegas, you're never going to get John Fox to be that resort that everyone wants to go to. It's just not going to happen because he's shown you he can't do it. He's 3 wins against the division. The reporters got it all wrong today. Even Fox doesn't even know his first year how many wins he had against the division. That's how lost this guy is and how much he cares. I remember every game I coached, every play, because it was on me. And I think you got to understand, as offensive coordinators, everybody's working under him. So what he decides to do, to kick, to go for it, no, we need to focus in on the inside run game. All the game planning goes through the head coach. And John Fox has this reputation of allowing coaches to coach. He has it here. And Dowell's not going to get off the hook. But the reality is, what you saw on Sunday was a showcase that, you know what? The season's over. Let's allow these players to play. And what do you think, folks? Was that not the best game you've seen all season? It didn't. Obviously, it ran through Jordan Howard. That's the formula. But it didn't rely completely on how Trubisky's making plays. The receiver, Wright's making plays. Shaheen's making plays, as Aldo said. And, yes, the future talent, Eddie Jackson. Fuller's got to be a must-resign. You tag him. I know we're going to get into this throughout the whole offseason, but to me, it's not even a choice. Like, can't get a deal done? Good. We're going to get one done because we love you. Yes, we had our hardships or whatever. We think you're a part. Players need that feedback.
Yep.
You need that feedback. I need that feedback. I need Aldo to say, Phil, you did a great job with that song.
If I don't do it enough, Phil, I'm really, really sorry.
I'm just saying.
No, I hear
that,
you.
That is a these guys are perfect. These guys, that's their job. They're humans.
Yep.
They're kids.
Well, Trey,
you gotta love this game. You know what I'm saying, Aldo? And
Trey,
and they gotta.
I'm sorry, Trey on the chat room said earlier, Kyle Fuller should not have left that stadium without a contract extension.
No, he's 100% right. Yep. Shane talks about this, and he's 100% right. There's a rarity. Casey Hayward going up this chart has been tremendous. I love that kid coming out of Iowa. I love that football player. It's been tremendous there, but look what happened with Stephon Gilmore. It's a very risky proposition. Yep. So when you have homegrown talent, you do not let it go. Mm-hmm. That is a priority. And when you have these nerds, well, I don't want to pay this much money. Can you please shut the F up, please? Because it's not your money. B, what? We have 20-something million in space now. How about we secure talent so you could stop talking? No, let's make more holes. Let's trade Jordan Howard for a second and a third, and let's not pay Fuller because there's a really deep corner draft. Those guys, not all of you, but you tag me in this dumb shit, and you talk about it like it is something a football trade Jordan Howard. I mean, what? It just doesn't even conceptualize itself to me. Just like somebody tell me Cody Whitehair is not good. It's like he could be the greatest center in football right now. In my mind, that's how good he is. In watching his tape, it's unbelievable. We'll save that for later. But that kind of stupidity reigns itself and becomes the next. What is it? What is the Lambert site? Sports fan rag, whatever.
Mockery.
Sports mockery, fan rag, Bleacher Report. I'm hearing rumors. Bears thinking of trading Jordan. Becomes a big thing. Listen, there is talent here. Kyle Fuller is a young player you drafted. He's coming into his own. Contract year or not, if he stunk this year and went to free agency, someone gets a steal and he refines himself. You pay to win in this league. There's 3 tiers of finding talent. Free agency, draft, undrafted rookie free agents. That's how you do it. It's all you got. So you got to play them all and throw them all out there and play the best. Fox doesn't. Stubborn. Elway fired him, as Aldo talked about in his thing. I got fooled. Be the first one to eat crow. Guy is lost when it comes to young talent. He feels more comfortable with older, whatever, veteran player, maybe mixing a young kid here and there. But that's the problem. That's what you see. And Chicago Bear fans honestly should be excited, not fooled by what this rookie class. Remember the rookie class that Ryan Pace should have been fired according to Matt Miller's executive?
That's right.
Do you remember that?
That's right.
Now they're the talk of the town. Let me tell. And that's the other thing. As positive as they were, I want to see, and all of my barflies want to see, how do they come out this week against their division rival, where we celebrate one win for every John Fox season? How do they come back and play? That's what I want to see. Was that just a team in Cincinnati that quit? That just laid down because they lost to Pittsburgh? They're knocked out of the playoffs. Geno Atkins is hurt. Or was that the Chicago Bears stepping up and allowing that? That's the answer I want to see. We saw the talent. I'm super excited about it, 100%. But let's see how they play against their division rival.
Phil, I want to interrupt to offer up a special shout-out to Caitlin Burberry, my stepdaughter, who is listening to the show for the very first time. And hopefully she's not reading any of this stuff on the chat room because some of the stuff is getting perverted. For instance, Brandon Janoski. Cover your ears, Caitlin. He says, I'd rather let Mike Glennon pound my mom than trade Jordan Howard. Oh, my goodness. Phil, I wanted to ask you this question. We've got, how much time we've got? We got 15, whatever minutes left. Next Sunday, I'm going to be at that game. A number of other barflies are going to be there. I know Bears Girl is going to be there. I'm taking my daughter, so the photographs of me are going to look really, really, really good because my daughter will be beside me. And a number of other barflies will be there. Nick is going to be there. Nick Kurtz, Lucky Kurtz is going to be there. So it's going to be a heck of a time. I want to watch this game on Saturday against the Detroit Lions at Ford Field, and I want to be able to say, Phil would have done this on offense. Phil would have liked that call. So what I want you to do for us is wear that offensive coordinator hat and tell me what you would like to see the Bears offense do strategically on Saturday against this Lions defense that doesn't have much of a pass rush, that does have a good secondary, and their linebackers are so-so.
Oh, obviously you got to get the fullback off the field. Honestly, it's too predictable. He's awful. It's a detriment to Jordan Howard. You need a guy that's a pounder that's going to go in there. And I'm dead serious about this. This is strategy. This is something John Fox lacks, a strategic plan of attack. Aldo's just breaking down the Detroit defense. They don't have a very good pass rush. Their linebackers are weak. There's, one of their safeties is banged up. How do we take advantage of this? Where is their weakness? What do we do well that can attack their weakness first? What do we do well? What is our staple? What is our go-to? What could we say, all right, we're going to run this play. They know it's coming, but we're going to run it anyway because we're better than you are. And we will block you. And we will beat you. That's what this team lacks. And I know what they have that can do that. And that's Jordan Howard. And that's getting in the shotgun spread game. You look at the play where Aldo put up, and it's obviously what I've been calling for all year. I'm not worried about my quarterback running read option because it's not going to be read option all the time, all day. But in 3rd and 1, I have two of the key cogs in this whole scheme, and that's Jordan and Mitchell. So say I have two, and I can add a third who's the most explosive player on our football team. So think about the magic that I could come up with just by using 3 pieces. And this is how bad our offensive coordinator and head coach are, because I could do this in my sleep and win. I promise you. In just watching that one play, and I'm going to remember it for you. He meshes and pulls, and Mitchell scores his touchdown because the end and the linebacker have to account for the killer that's coming downhill at them 15 times, 20 times before. So now if I action pass off of that, now I got who? Shaheen, right, running into the middle. I get someone cheating, and I could throw it over the top. Now, all from one formation, shotgun, Cohen in the slot, going to jet him across. I'm going to mesh point fake with him. I'm going to give him a jet sweep. We are going to pull our guard and get him on the out boundary and give him a lead. These are the things that this team and this offensive court, just by one thing, and they did incorporate it 4 times in the game against Cincinnati, and every one of them was a big play. So if I'm an offensive coordinator, that's what I could do well, because that's what's going to put pressure on this defense, especially when they don't have a pass rush. Now it's going to open it up for Mitchell, because now you're going to be able to draw a pocket, because the defensive tackle's got to try to stem inside thinking Howard's going to get a handoff. Now you've given your offensive guard and center an advantage, because you move that guy to exactly where they want to be able to control him and allow their quarterback time. You see, running the football, as cliche as what they say it is, it's cliche for a reason. If you can run, you will win. It's simple as that. You could do all of your offense off of the run. You see the Patriots do it. They spread them out. They get in the shotgun. He mesh points fakes. He throws the ball down the seam. He can't even move, and they're doing it. All of it is to threaten those linebackers, to make them false step and give your tight end, your slot, your jet sweep back, your slot running back / jet sweep back an advantage and a step to give an accurate quarterback a target to deliver and win. What does Shaheen have? Speed. Aldo put up another play. Action pass, throws the ball on a balloon toss over the top of the linebackers, dropping it in the bucket to Shaheen for a big first down, who's wide open because he does what? He runs to the point, gets leverage, isolates, and separates. Those things, and using this personnel appropriately, like Deion Sims should be your second tight end. Shaheen is your starter. It's not even close. It's like not rocket scientists. That it doesn't take it. And then you bring in Brown. There should be no burden. Brown's your H-back. He comes in, plays fullback. If he can't do it, Broniker's the guy then. That's what you need in your personnel. That's how you attack this team. And then that'll open up a shot down the field. But the willingness that this football player, Trubisky, has, and the aggressiveness and the athleticism all could be used with the main guy, the animal, the filthy animal, down the middle, affecting that defense. And it should be in shotgun. It should be under center. It should be at any point where your formation gives you the leverage, trips, run a inside zone to the short side of the football field with the tight end on the backside. Twins, run the screen, run the quick screen. Boot action him out. Because once this guy gets going, Aldo, downhill, and that is Jordan Howard, everybody else reaps the benefits of it. So to me, it's very clear they did a good job of recognizing that they couldn't stretch zone. We were worried about that in the pregame. They came out and ran some power game. They ran inside zone. They did it right. And Jordan Howard helped them immensely because of his patience and his vision. And that's really what you're going to have to do. And that's where the three levels get used, Aldo. Cohen, Shaheen, Jordan Howard. Right. That's your quad right there. Those are the guys that are going to make the plays for you. And then you're going to mix in everybody else. Inman's going to be part. Deep in cut off an action game on a 5-step drop with Inman coming in on a deep in. He's going to be open because Jordan Howard has threatened those linebackers that are weak. Those young linebackers in Cincy were false stepping. They were so worried about stopping Jordan Howard, everything opened up. That's what you got to do. And that's how you're going to win if you're going to go in there with the right game plan. And if you're going in offset shuffle, ISO play to the left or zone the same, you aren't winning this game. If you start trying to play that dumb dowel song again,
Little Dumber Boy.
It's not going to happen. Little Dumber Boy. So if you start doing that, that's not the recipe.
Hey, in the last few minutes that we have here, Phil, I'd like you to pay some love to that Bears defense. Certainly, they were playing a Cincinnati Bengals team that is ranked 31st in offense. The Bears 32nd. They showed up. They showed up and they played hard. They played with some gusto, and this is a team that is injury depleted. So you talked a little bit about Kyle Fuller at the top of the show, but I know there's some other guys you wanted to give a shout out to who played their hearts out and played hard for a victory. So why don't you do that, and then we'll close the show out with some of the comments in the chat room.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you look at Akeem Hicks, you obviously see that he's having he's having to be double and triple teamed at times to stop him from getting and breaking down their pocket. I know I thought he was going to go punch Mike Glennon on the sideline when he missed that sack of AJ, but he missed a couple sacks. He's kicking himself today watching the tape. But obviously he's such an immense force and athlete at his size affecting the game. I thought Jenkins came in, played a pretty good football game for a guy that hasn't really gotten that much time. Wasn't a clean game, wasn't a great game. It was good, and I wanted to see that. Bullard stepped up, made some plays. The kid, Roy Robertson Harris, the sky's the limit for this kid.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid, I'm telling you, when the light finally turns on and he becomes a finisher, and if the right coach comes in here to motivate him next year, because I think Vic's doing a good job with him, nothing like that. Talk about a kid that can, be something really special. That's a find right there at 290 pounds.
Yep.
To be able to be as athletic. He could play the defensive end in a 4-3 because they played a lot of 3-3 and 4-3 looks where he and Hicks are playing defensive end, obviously to cover their lack at the outside linebacker position. Christian Jones came in there, played the outside linebacker position, did a heck of a job. I was proud of that kid. And Sam Ocho really came and was getting pressure. He didn't finish any, but he was really, from what I saw of Ocho last week against the Niners, came back this week, played a good football game. You saw what you wanted to see, Danny Trevathan running around, affecting the passing game as well as the running game, really exploding, really setting the tone of what he's bringing to the game of this defense. That was missing. Eddie Jackson, what can you say? Made more than 3 great plays in this game. And when I talk about great plays, I'm talking about plays that you expect from an all-pro type football player. Eddie Jackson, who was our bear down a couple weeks ago, really came back to prove himself in his effort and his awareness and physicality, something that I was concerned about in the last couple weeks of his game. Mentally, had he checked out, had he hit that rookie wall and decided, the season's over? Is he learning that from veteran player? All those types of things transpiring. Needless to say, this kid came out there, obviously in a losing season, balled out. You got to like that young football player. Amukamara, he should, get with Josh Bellamy on the jugs machine because he had an easy pick. But what can you say? We talked at the top about filling the cornerback position. Here's somebody here. Is he going to feel like the loyalty and the love and the respect and come back for you? Because he's definitely someone I believe you bring back. I don't think, Fuller, that's it. You need corners. You need to have corners. You need to get your defense to be where it is. You don't need to make more holes and try to fill a roster spot. You got 3 guys at corner that you like. Cooper obviously has taken a step back. He started off the season really well when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers game, despite the stupidity of the blocked extra point or field goal rather. If you look at that game in its whole, he played a good football game. You want to get that kid's confidence back, a new fresh start with a new staff. You see what you got there. But these 2 corners, Mukamura and Kyle Fuller should definitely be back. Something you're happy about. Crevan LeBlanc, as you know, I love this football player. I think he's tremendous. In the nickel, Callahan finally came back. I don't know what was his injury for 12 weeks. Yeah. He's finally back. So to me, I don't know why you would even why they put him in unless on the tape it was dime. I just don't think you put him in over somebody who's been healthy and playing the football and is ascending football player in LeBlanc. That's just me. If it's dime, yeah, I'm going to get him in, and we're going to run dime. He's a good football player, but the one thing you need to be is to be on the football field, and that is something Callahan doesn't have. And he doesn't have on his resume his last 3 years that he's been here. So as talented as he is, he's not reliable. And the best ability is availability, and unfortunately for us, he hasn't been. And I don't understand why they would continue to do that. But LeBlanc is someone I feel like is obviously a future piece they picked up from the Patriots, as you were talking. But you got to love this defense because I think there's pieces right down the middle. They were missing Eddie Goldman. Obviously, Eddie's a huge piece. Hopefully he returns next week. I don't remember. Is he a concussion?
I believe so, yeah.
So hopefully he's in the protocol and he's returning. Don't like what they're doing, Aldo, with Brzezinski. It doesn't make any kind of sense to me. Here you are, you have a young kid that possibly could show you something, and you need him to come onto the football field and get an opportunity to assess what he could do moving forward. And that's the kid Hall. See what you have in that football player. Brzezinski, where he didn't, obviously the kid came off the street and started last week, but he didn't do anything to negate, obviously, what you were doing. He was the security blanket. He played it safe. Let's see what we have in Hall. That's another coaching thing I don't agree with. Even if Hall goes out there and makes a few mistakes, you replace him then. You teach him. How do we learn? We make mistakes. These are the things that don't transpire with the staff. It just baffles me. And that's a kid I wanted to see out there. But other than that, Kwiatkowski was good in coverage, physical at the point, attacking as he does on those blitzes, those A and B gap blitzes. He's a force. Running backs don't want to meet him. I would move him to fullback and allow him to get some snaps there because he would be what I want in a fullback going downhill for Jordan. Then we could run the fullback because I want someone who attacks somebody and is a headhunter that wants to fucking knock someone and put them down. You have to bleep that one out. I went into coach mode there. But that fullback position just angers me so much with the Bears. I know Rascula and some of these Air Jer and Trey and what was his name? Oh, God, I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm going to have all my shout-outs prepared tomorrow. There's a lot of people to thank. But all of you get me amped up when I'm watching Burton. I could just think Phil's going nuts right now. Did you see Burton not make that? Did you see Burton not give effort?
Yeah, Brandon Janoski said that in the chat room. I could see Phil just going crazy on that 1 yard dive to the fullback.
It's not personal. Did you see? Exactly. Oh, my God. They tried to trick him. Right, Brandon? They try to run a trick play. And the fullback gets stuffed like a bag of potatoes, dragged by his leg. It's a comedy show. Who calls that play? Who calls that play? Dowell. That's who. Let's trick Jordan Howard just averaging 7 yards a pop. Let's give it to our fullback after Jordan carried us down here with Cohen. It's just, I used to hate that as a coach. I refused to do it. In fact, I was stubborn. Real quick story. Kids running 60-yard runs, 60-yard coming down. And my offensive coordinator's like, Coach, we're going to run fullback down. Belly right, belly right. I go, we're not running belly right. Coach, it's wide open. I go, I don't care. This kid earned this. Give him the ball. I want him to get in the end zone. He took us all the way down there. Now we're going to give it to the fullback. That kind of stuff has always bothered me. But getting back to this, obviously it's exciting time at Bears Bar Room, bringing it with the bar flies and everyone joining in and the Christmas stuff, Aldo. I'm fired up about it. I'm happy the Bears won. That was one point that I wanted to make sure I said tonight. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about draft position. Worry about understanding that every positive is a feather in Mitchell's cap, because that's the most important thing right now. Who we're going to draft could be a bust.
Yep.
That's the biggest gamble anyway. Where you draft doesn't matter. It's about assessing the right talent. Christ, Pace should have been fired, remember? All these small school, they can't play, whatever. Now you're talking about them as the best part of the Chicago Bears' future. Think about that. And that's why it's bright. And that's why this position is something that gets potential coaches excited to be a head coach for the Chicago Bears and turn it around, because of that young talent and nucleus that Ryan Pace has built. You got to give him credit where credit is due. So we give the good, we give the truth, we give the bad. We talk to the youth. That's what we do here at Bears Hour Live.
Unbelievable job again, Phil Ottochian, stepping up into the pocket and drilling it over the middle for a first down and matriculating the ball downfield. Excellent work. I want to read some of the comments in the chat room. Very, very active chat room. Every time I went to heart something,
throw some questions out there.
Yeah, they. You know what? Everybody was just so excited about the win and talking about the draft and everything. It's the anticipation is rising with this team, and that's a good thing. Here is some comments. Jay Muller says that everyone in his Call of Duty lobby is listening right now to Bears Barroom, Bears Hour Live. That is awesome. That is awesome. Isaiah Robles says that the fans needed yesterday's win as much as the players did yesterday, and that is so
That's a
true.
Great point.
Yep. Air Jer, my man Air Jer says Bellamy is great when he catches the effing ball. I stumped for him earlier this year, but his butter hands have let me down. I will not be fooled by him again. He's a special teamer. And I got to tell you, Brandon Janoski, man, he has been bringing it to the chat room. I mean, we got to hand out some
the
awards.
MVP tonight?
It's close. I'm telling you, it is close because Trey is in the house. Brandon says, imagine having a fullback who's a vegan, went to private school, and peas, sitting down and then giving him the last name Burton. Burton should be referred to as ass juice box. This means that this man's ass isn't on the field unless Howard or Trubisky need a juice box. And then Phil, he wants to remind you that you forgot his shout out last week, and he was sad all week long. So you got to give him a special shout out when we do Bears 100 Proof.
I'm gonna hit them all prepared. Is that Wolf, my boy Wolf?
Wolf, absolutely. And Isaiah Robles says that Cohen reminds me of a small Barry Sanders. Some plays are negatives, then he gets that 80-yarder, and that's exactly what Emery Hunt, our friend Phil, said on a Bears on Tap show earlier this season. He said that Cohen is really like a Barry Sanders type player, and like Trey has been saying, run that guy, make sure he gets his Gatorade and whatever he needs before the game.
He should never leave the field. He should be as a slot. He should be at running back on third down. There should not. Benny Cunningham should be he's the Josh Bell. He's special teams. He's in there if there's an injury. That's what he is. Mm-hmm. Third down should be owned by Tariq Cohen. formationally, not to go on another side, you could do so much. The fact that he's not in the game on third down and a coach that will say, well, it's a lot to ask. No, it's not. This is what he's done his whole life. Ask him to do it. See if he could do it. Challenge him. Clearly, it's not a lot for him to ask. This playbook is not very thick and not very thorough. So Trey is right, and Bears Are Alive is right. It's the right time. It's the right show. We always fight for the truth, and we are bringing it, huh? The Barflies are active tonight. Look at Air Jer.
Air Jer. Trey Busy says that we have a fullback that's afraid of contact. This man
he's
really
trying to get me going. Break out the steak. What is he? Steak and
whiskey.
beer?
Steak and whiskey, baby. I love it.
Steak and whiskey. Get the steak and whiskey out. I'm coming over. When I fly into Chicago, I expect Lil Nicky and Trey picking me up from the airport.
Oh, yeah. Straight to my house. Straight to my house. Plenty of steak and whiskey. Trust me.
Steak and whiskey.
Trey Busy also says about Don Loggins that he really had a fullback running a wheel route.
He had a fullback. Check this out. I'm laughing on tape. It actually worked. He ran a fullback in the slot through the seam. Guy is bumbling down the field. He didn't even turn to look. He just ran straight, and the defensive back covered him.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Trey,
my great doll.
Trey has also promised that he might have to make a trip to Hallis Hall with his sledgehammer. That would be awesome. Trey, if you do that, don't worry. The Barflies will raise the bail money, and you'll be out in 24 hours. Lots of great stuff on the chat room. You guys have been great. Shane made an appearance on the chat room, and he's wondering
the smartest man.
The smartest man, and the smartest man immediately wondered who are these 3 or 4 people who are not registered listeners. And so, of course, we got all sorts of speculation. Is it the Bears brothers? Is it Andrew Danahy? Is it Mr. Magoo? Are they just kind of coming in here and doing some spy work or something? If they are, listen.
They gotta get their information.
Yeah, they got to get their information from somewhere with a reliable opinion, right?
Listen, guys, I hate to break it. I'm Aaron Lemming's source. I got to come out and admit it now. Me and Shane have been his source for years. No, look, Barflies, how great are they, though? Seriously, going to the games, disgruntled Bear, Air Jer going to the games, holding up the Firefox sign, getting people amped up. You can hear you guys in the stadium chanting. That on the road, that is what I love to see. Also, Barflies from all over the world chiming in on the Christmas album, the Christmas songs. Tomorrow, it's going to be Silent Fox. We are going to be bringing all these Christmas songs to you guys.
Right.
And the contest, right, Aldo? We got a contest.
We've got a contest.
Got to get people.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have a new ad out tomorrow with teasing the contest, because if you're not fighting to get one of these CDs and to give one out as a holiday gift, then you're really missing out. If you're true blue Bears fans, because this CD is just so good. And so this ad that I'm going to put together is going to have highlights from some of the 22 songs and a secret bonus track on there.
Bonus track.
So I want to
make sure. The bonus track is just
oh my goodness,
epic.
It really is.
Is it epic?
Oh my god,
it's freaking epic, guys. And honestly, this is a show, Bears Barroom Radio Network, John Buffone show. Let me just say this real quick. You guys are Barflies. I jumped in the Buffone chat room. Talk about a class guy and a teammate and a guy that brings it with passion and knowledge. I was so impressed with Johnny Buffone, breaking it down, just being true, just carrying the torch of truth with Aldo. You guys just do a great job, great show. Then how about Aldo Gandia on tap? I can't remember the kid's name, but he expressed my words exactly.
Oscar Aparicio.
Selesky.
Was it Oscar Aparicio?
No, no, one of the kids that tweeted out his favorite part of the week in the bar room is Aldo's 60 minutes of just talk behind the music and really his deep thoughts. You do a great job, Aldo. You bring on the guests. You talk about the opponent, really break it down, and it's wonderful to listen to. And it's informative truth from another person as well as Aldo. It's just great stuff. And you got to be excited about that. And then, obviously, the star of the show, I believe, the showstopper is, Bears 100 proof. Yeah. Let's be factual and truthful. We bring it. We have fun. We introduce our writers here. We bring on Twitter guests. For God's sake.
We might have a little special guest tomorrow.
Yeah, we offer I've offered the blog, Danahy, Aaron Lemming an opportunity to come on and just talk the truth. Mm-hmm. Come in, talk the truth, and we'll sit with you. There's no animosity. We offered the Bears brothers, the Bears bloggers. The fraud knockers, whatever they're called.
More than welcome to come on. No hard
More than
feelings.
welcome to come on. There's no hard feelings.
Absolutely
We're
not.
just we're gonna confront it,
Yeah.
be men about it, right? And we'll go from there. And that's what we do. Bears Hour live, obviously tonight. I had a blast. The bar flies. You can't be excited. I got so many people to shout out. But the Christmas album, guys. The bonus track.
Wait a minute.
Everything.
Air Jer says, don't bring on the Bears brothers. Don't lower our standards.
Listen, they are going to appear in a song. And I think I think Isaiah Robles will get, I want to know the Barfly's top 10 out of the 22. I want to know. I want to know that you hear a creative, tricky lyric.
Ooh.
You do that, I send you a CD myself. I autograph. I got to make sure I send these out for some of these people that pay close attention. I know Bear Girl's going to be pissed at
Yes.
Stick to the content. But at the very end, I'm saying, when the contest ends, I want to see that kind of passion. Because I put a lot of thought. I'm just going to say this as the background. And Aldo has some exciting, fun stuff coming up this holiday season. In another lost season under John Fox. The obvious Black Monday's coming. You heard it here for weeks now. 100% John is going to be fired. Don't even worry yourself. We're going to be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to go live.
We're going to go live. Indeed, we're going to go live. Yep.
Christmas Day, Aldo has something surprise. Holiday greetings. Big show with all the songs and audio from the show of the past season. This whole just great highlight. Guys, we love and appreciate you support. Share it. Get other guys coming in here that need it. You're the therapist. You're the marshal. You're the soldier. Who's your friend that needs that help? We all have that friend, Aldo. We all have that friend that doesn't. They don't know anything about football, but they think they know. Wait a second. I learned something from these guys. I laugh. I need a laugh. My friend needs a laugh. Send them here. That stuff's appreciated. We're word of mouth. Aldo ain't paying for billboards.
That's right.
Phone show gets all the funding.
That's right. Hey,
That's what we do here.
Shane is already giving out 15 Buffon hoodies in the chat room today. 15 of them. Listen,
15 of them.
I want to let everybody know that we do have a schedule change coming up with Bears Hour Live, because we will not be doing Bears Hour Live on Christmas Day and New Year's. We're going to move those to the Saturday prior, which is the December 23rd and January 30th. So we'll have more information on that. But as Phil said, we will be on the air on Christmas Day and New Year's, just replaying Christmas songs and some highlights from previous shows. It'll just be running live right here on MixLR. You guys can tune it in, have it on in the background if your family doesn't mind an F-bomb or two, and just some funny stuff and some music and some hilarity and some, busting balls and stuff. And Isaiah Robles reminds us that December 23rd is his birthday. Woohoo! And
there it is.
And Phil, this is what I want to do today. I want to close the show with one of your, to me, it's got to be a top 10 Christmas song. It was released on Saturday, and so, sometimes stuff that gets released on Saturday doesn't get the attention it deserves. So I want to make sure that people have heard this song about Ted Phillips. And one of the reasons I want to play this,
oh yeah,
I was talking to a vendor today. We were talking about some things that we got coming up for the near future. And my goodness, I was there for an hour and a half, and I swear to you, Phil, for 65 minutes, 6'5", all he did was talk about the Bears when I told him about Bears Barroom. And he said to me, he goes, Aldo, what is the one constant that we've had in all these losing seasons with different general managers, different coaches? What is the one constant? And I immediately said, Ted Phillips. And that's why we're going to close the show with this Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian holiday classic.
Classic.
Ted Phillips. This is awesome.
Ted Phillips.
Mm-hmm. Play it anytime, Aldo. Anytime.
You're a mean one, Ted Phillips. You really are a heel. You're as sneaky as a fox. You're as charming as an eel, Ted Phillips. You're a guy who wants money over wins on the field. Ted Phillips, you're a sneaky fox. You hired him, collecting money instead of wins. Ted Phillips, you're the trouble. You're the reason why we lose. Ted Phillips. You're a sneaky, nasty jerk-off. Yeah, another fulfilling funk